So in this video, we have compiled up some questions that a lot of people tend to ask us when we say, we're going to move out of the country. We're going to be nomads in our 50s. And people are just like, you know? And so we get all these questions. So we're going to answer your questions or their questions.
Or the ones we've heard the most.
The ones that we've heard the most, because I'm sure there's a gazillion more out there. But these are the ones that we always get asked the most. If you don't know who we are, I'm Michelle.
I'm Trevor.
And we sold our house in Venice, Florida. We sold everything in it, and we shoved it all, what we had left, into a
Toyota Tundra with a cab.
And we were going to New York. It didn't happen. We ended up here in Asheville, North Carolina. Right now, we are loving it.
Yep.
But we have this thought process, we have this dream that we are going to be nomads over 50. And we're going to do it. And we're going to answer your questions right now.
Perfect. No, actually, we've never been to Thailand before. We've saw a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of pictures, so it's very exciting to go. But no, we have not been there.
Now, I've actually never been out of the country before. He has. So this is going to be a total first for me to actually even go outside of the United States. But that is probably the top question we get asked is, have you ever been to Thailand?
It just seems like such a nice place when you look at the YouTube videos, but first stop.
But you know, by the time we get to when we leave, we could end up anywhere. Thailand is the top of our list right now, but we are going somewhere.
Probably 99% sure it's going to be Thailand.
People are like, well, you live in Florida, or you lived in Florida. Why would you want to go to Thailand?
It's just so exotic, huge Buddhist statues and temples, you know, in the middle of nowhere that you hike up, but just seeing something that big and that pretty is, to me, is just wow. You know, it never gets old, you know, so that's the the reason. The reason we decided to move out of the country was, for one, it's very exotic. It's very cheap, really. The cost of living is super inexpensive. Housing is very cheap if you decide to buy something. Rent is very cheap if you decide to go that route. Food is very cheap. The kind of food we like is extremely cheap, which is fruits and that sort of stuff. Just the adventure, really. Just kind of, I don't know, you only live once and just kind of want to go, you know, do some stuff, you know.
And then I think for me too, it was how inexpensive it was, you know, because we were thinking, you know, we wanted to do the nomad thing, and not really retire early. And we'll kind of get into another video how we saved the money up to do it. These are just a lot of the questions that we're getting.
It's so much easier to go ahead and do something like this when it's that, you know, like if you were to do something like that in the United States where you're going to travel all around and go to these really nice places where the weather is really good, it's going to be extremely expensive, you know. I mean, rent is going to be thousands and thousands of dollars a month because we don't want to stay for a year in one place. We want to stay for a month or two, you know, so short-term rentals are, you know, extremely expensive.
Yeah,
really,
just from going from Florida to Charleston, we stayed 2 weeks in Charleston, and that ended up being
like, geez, it was like $2,500. That was just the rent for 2 weeks or more. Was it 25, $3,000 almost?
And then we left Charleston and went to Asheville.
Another $1,400, you know, for a week.
It's very expensive. Even if you're RVing in the States, if you're boondocking is less expensive, or if you get to park at places like Walmart or stuff like that. But even the campgrounds are really
pricey,
expensive.
because we did that for about a year and a half, and you know, off and on for a year and a half. And
in season in Florida.
Oh, it was over $2,000, and that was 3-4 years ago. So I'm sure it's even more now. You know.
Yeah. So just for me, being inexpensive
and exoticness.
Yeah, something different.
So the length of time we'll be there, it's hard to say. Of course, if we love it, we'll be there longer. If we don't like it, we'll be there way shorter.
We've kind of like, in the beginning, we were going to be like, okay, let's go. We're just going to move to Thailand and that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of thinking, okay, we want to stay maybe in Asheville in the summers,
That's
and
a
then
possibility.
in the wintertime go to Thailand. So we're thinking like how long it might be. We'll do our 90 days and then pop over to
Different country.
different country.
Yeah. We're just leaving it open right now.
We're
Kinda.
so open. We're leaving it so open.
We'll get into the Asheville stuff in a minute, but we do love it up here. We've been here for a month, a little over a month now, and it's awesome. You know, in the summer, we both extremely don't like cold weather though, so that's definitely not going to be a permanent place here. So we'll get into that more later.
Yeah, that'll be more later. These are a lot of the questions. And one of the other questions, other than how long will we stay in Thailand, is where.
Oh, to start, I figure we'll probably start in the hot tourist spot like Phuket, which will make it easier because there's way more English speaking going on there, and then probably gravitate towards more of the kind of the local
I would like
spots.
to go to Koh Samui.
Koh Samui is a
big
definite.
one.
Yep.
Koh Samui, Phuket. I do want to go to Hua Hin.
Definitely want to try Bangkok. I mean, direct flight
yeah.
too, so we can land, because that's 25 hours. 25 hours of flying, so you land. And I've never flown that long in my life, but I'm sure that's going to be brutal. So you're going to want to land, get into your room, and just chill out, So I figure we'll take the first month. It'll either be Bangkok or Phuket. That'll be the first month. And then from there, we'll see. But Koh Samui, Chiang Mai. I mean, there's just so many cool places,
Koh Lak. I think it's called Koh Lak.
Koh Lak
We have
and
friends.
PP Island. I mean, it's
yeah.
just, the list goes on. It's just crazy.
Yeah, if you've ever seen any of the YouTube channels, the main places that they talk about, that's the places we're going to check out first.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, not at all. So, of course, we could be wrong, but the people that we've met in the process of making this happen, we've met people in multiple different countries that we've become friends with over the internet, and we WhatsApp them, and we talk pretty regularly to a lot of different people. Thailand is one of the safest.
Land of the smiles.
Yeah, land of the smiles. It's land of the smiles. People are generally very, very nice, and so.
And they have what's called saving face. Saving face refers to the act of preserving one's dignity, reputation, and social standing, as well as avoiding embarrassment or loss of honor, both for oneself and others. In Thailand, the concept of saving face is deeply ingrained in the social fabric and plays a crucial role in maintaining harmony and respect in interpersonal relationships.
Saving face, that's the big thing. So
they
they don't go out and start some shit, and they don't want to go out and, like you get in an argument at a stoplight or something, nobody's going to jump out and start screaming at each other because you don't go out and act like a screaming lunatic over something so little,
Yeah,
so really the crime, I'm not worried about it at all,
And there might be some little petty theft. I mean, don't leave a phone laying out or anything like that. I don't know if you can hear that truck. It's like, wah.
But I mean, the people we talk to over there say they leave their phone on the table. They were in the restaurants. I mean, nobody that we know in any of the countries, excluding Panama. I've had a couple of instances with a friend from Panama, but any of the other countries we've talked to that have any problems whatsoever. So we're not at all worried about that.
I think people think when you say you're going to another country or a third world country that you're going to be living in a hut, and it's for.
No.
I mean,
I think it's going to be great.
Some of the houses there are gorgeous.
Yeah.
You've got pools. They're brand new houses.
Yep.
Absolutely not
Don't touch
afraid
it. Yep.
at all. Okay.
So working. So definitely I'm trying to figure out something to do on the road. We're kind of working on that right now on the backside. We're doing, kind of teaching ourselves how to build websites. We're learning about affiliate and marketing, looking at products to possibly be able to sell, where you don't have to be in the United States or be any specific country. So internet stuff. So it's nothing that we have worked out yet. We will keep you posted on the progress, but definitely are planning on getting some sort of money generated.
Something, yeah.
Yep.
My background, I'm photography, media, graphic design artist. So those are things that I could possibly do online.
And I've always just been like a hustler. I've sold this and that. I've owned cellular phone stores my whole life. My last probably 7, 8 years, flipped houses and sold real estate, So I like helping people. Maybe I get over to Thailand, there's something there that I could help people from back home with over there. I mean, I just don't know. I'm sure I will find my niche like I always do.
Yeah, and
you know?
we're kind of thinking the Airbnb thing here, have a house here, Airbnb. We don't know. It's still just up in the air. We've saved and scratched and held on to enough money.
We got enough dough where we got some breathing room. So if there's a possibility we might buy an Airbnb, a house here that we would stay in maybe in the winters or a few months during the winter. The good thing about Asheville is Airbnbs rent all year long because they've got beautiful fall leaves. Of course, they've got perfect weather in the summer. They've got ski resorts not too far from here. So pretty much you're going to get renters all year long. Of course, in the summer and fall months, it's going to be, you know, I've been talking to some managers and they're talking like 95% occupancy. And in the off season, like 75% occupancy. So either way, it's going to be good. So if we do go that route and do get one to rent, that will actually probably fund a lot of our travels over there.
Because we're cheap.
And we live extremely frugal lives. We don't shop much. I mean, I don't spend any money on clothes. And when I do, they're just tank tops or whatever.
And then things over there are so inexpensive.
Yeah, in all the other countries that are all inexpensive.
Yeah, everything that you do is so very inexpensive. I mean, like, even here in Asheville, if you go see the Biltmore House, it's like $150 a person just to go.
So guess what? We're not going.
Guess where we're not going?
Not that important to see an old house, but, you know.
So we got enough to cushion us for a while.
Yeah, we got enough cushion, but we're definitely working on something to bring in a little dough, you know. We'll figure something
Trevor's
out.
Gonna start dancing on a pole.
Yeah, we'll go broke for sure. So Thailand and certain other countries are what they call medical tourist hotspots. So essentially you go to these places and people can't believe this, but the healthcare is like really, really good and very, very affordable. So I'm actually waiting until I get there because I have a hernia situation that I should get it operated on and get a mesh put in. And I'm actually waiting till I get there because I know I can get it for a fraction of what it'll cost here. Here we have health insurance that we pay almost $1,000 a month for two of us.
And we tried to get it done here.
You know, I actually changed insurance companies since, but I tried to get it done here and I got all the way to the point where I was going to get it done, and it was just like they wouldn't give me a price. Finally, I get to the day where I'm going to get it done, or a couple days before, and I'm like, I'm not going to do it unless you give me a price. I'm not just going to go in and get it done, and then you send me this massive bill. And the cost to get this hernia mesh surgery, which was a one-dayer, you're not even staying the night, you're going in, was out of this world expensive. So
and they were trying to give him a price. Oh, it could be anywhere from
and then they were saying it could be between
to...
this and this, and I'm like, I just need a number. I mean, you know, if it's this, then I can figure it out. So they couldn't get a number. It was just so crazy that I was like, you know what, forget it. Didn't do it.
Yeah, in Thailand they give you a list.
Yep.
And if you're
so I canceled that insurance, got new insurance, just to kind of cover us while we're here in case anything bad happens. But in Thailand, we're looking at like $5,000 to get the whole mesh, everything done cash. And I'm like, that's for me.
Yeah, I mean, going to the dentist, a cleaning for $25.
Yeah.
X-rays for, I mean, it's just so inexpensive.
Implants. I mean, here I had one implant done and it was like $5-6 grand, I think. Over there, it's like $1,200, you know? So it's super, super cheap. And super good because a lot of people go and do this. So they've kind of set up for this money-making opportunity for themselves. So they've got these really nice state-of-the-art hospitals.
Yeah. People think you're going in this dark, gloomy, disgusting place to get something done. These are top state-of-the-art. I mean,
just gorgeous.
Look it up.
Yeah, I mean, just check it out.
Look it up.
Yep.
It's just mind-blowing. I'm gonna come back looking different. I mean.
They have plastic surgery and everything.
I'm gonna come back looking like this. Like, yeah.
Pectoral implants, bicep implants. I'm gonna be huge. Don't even have to work out.
That was one of the biggest questions that we got too was, oh my God, what about your house?
So basically what happened is, long story, we'll get into it later. But essentially, we were planning to go to Thailand in April, end of April. We sold our house. We sold it.
Airplane.
Yeah, airplane. Little international airport here in Asheville, which is really cool because it'll actually take us back and forth to Sarasota for like $200 round trip if we wanted to go. So that's killer. But anyway, so we sold our house in Venice. We sold it completely turnkey. and we gave them everything, every piece of art, everything. Anything else that they wouldn't have wanted, because I went through everything with pictures and stuff that they didn't want, we sold. So we fit.
If we gave away stuff, we took stuff to the thrift store.
Yep.
And everything?
Everything is gone. We packed everything we own, as well as our 2 dogs, in our Toyota Tundra with a cab that I put on it, and it wasn't even packed to the rim. So a lot of stuff I had since I was a little kid. I had been collecting jewelry, gold jewelry, watches, coin collection. I mean, I had all kinds of stuff, and every time I'd sell something, I'd be like, ugh, just heartbreak. A little piece of you dies. And then eventually you get past it, and now I don't even think about it. So now we don't really have anything, you know.
Yeah, we don't.
Yep.
We're going to start off renting from Airbnb just because it's safe right now. Once we get there and we meet people, and we'll have the in on where to rent. But you can rent, what, a 3-bed, 2-bath with a pool for...
Yeah, nothing.
So
yeah,
cheap.
So, yeah, the guy I've been talking to, a couple of the guys I've been talking to. So Airbnb is going to be more expensive, obviously. So we could probably snag something, and we don't want to go, you know, too cheap, because we don't know the area. So we'll probably spring for a nicer joint
to begin with.
And we'll be around $1,200 to $1,500 the first month. That'll be Airbnb, and that'll be the most expensive place we'll stay.
But for a month.
And that's for a month, yeah. And it's just to make it easy, smooth, and we'll know it's nice. Once you get there, the key to it is Facebook Marketplace for one, because they do that there. Or you just go drive around and you look. Guy I know, he went there. He went cheap. He went $350 a month. Wasn't bad at all. Then he moved up once he got there, and he did it all on Facebook Marketplace. So he was, you know, a little more trusting than I would be right up the first out of the gate. You know, so he went there, Facebook Marketplace, and had his place, and there was no problem. So we'll do the more expensive for the first month, and then once we get there, we'll look around. But probably $500 to $1,000 a month, you're going to get something nice, 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. You know, close to the beach, not too far.
Because we don't plan on staying in one spot too
Yeah,
long.
we don't plan on staying forever. So it's going to be a month or 2, or, you know, I don't know. It depends how much we love it, you know. So it's just...
Well, we want to do the nomadic thing, so
Yep.
we're actually going to be moving. I hope to be moving around a lot. We're going to do what's called the
Slow travel, yeah.
solo travel to begin with.
Yep. So it's like, yeah, you want to go kind of slow, you know. It takes you a little bit to get into a routine before you really start enjoying a place. Just like Asheville here. I mean, it was like 1 week, it probably was 2-3 weeks before, probably at least 2.5-3 weeks before I was really starting to, I mean, I loved the environment, I loved everything, but it took 2-3 weeks to really start enjoying the place.
Just because he found pickleball.
Yeah, I mean, you got your pickleball routine, now got my routine with the gym, you got your routine mountain biking, you know, so now I've kind of got my days planned out, and that's when I really start to enjoy a place, you know. Look, and then we can start flipping in some restaurants and maybe throwing a hike or two, you know, and that's kind of like what I expect to do over there, you know.
Yeah.
So family, I've got my parents still here, and I don't have any other real family besides that, you know, some cousins or whatnot, but we don't hang out all the time and stuff. And of course my parents, I'm very close with them. So I'm kind of working that out right now. They're interested in moving to Asheville for sure. So if we do the Airbnb thing where we're talking about with buying the house at Asheville, then they would probably move up at that point. If not, then I would, you know, just travel back and forth to see them.
Being that we're doing the slow nomadic thing, we'll
Yeah.
be back and forth. And a lot of people, like when they tell their family that they're going to move out of the country, a lot of times get a pushback. His mom and dad were total hippies. They went all over the United States. They've been, I mean, the grass will not grow under
Yeah.
these people's feet. So, I mean, she was just
extremely
thrilled.
nomadic. Yeah.
Yeah, they were both just thrilled. You know, they can't wait. And I'm sure your mom would be like, I'm coming.
Oh, she'd go
I'm
for
coming.
sure. Oh, yeah, she's already said she'll go. My dad, of course, won't fly, but my mom will definitely come wherever we go to visit at least. And they would go with.
So, I mean, it's not that we had no pushback from family at all. So it hasn't been any problem. Friends are like, you know, when you get there, let us know we're coming.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people do get pushback.
Yeah. Oh, where you going? Why? Oh, come on, come on. Yeah. They're probably like for us, please leave. You stayed your hour. Go. Okay, so leaving the U.S. permanently. Yeah, it just goes to, we've got to see how it is, I mean, I love it here too. I love the United States. I mean, if we go over there and just absolutely love it, I mean, I would consider it for sure. Definitely.
I don't foresee us doing it now, but later on.
The nomadic life kind of is calling to me right now. I do have my parents, so I'll definitely be back and forth, to check on them and be with them. And maybe they would come with, but I don't know. For now, I don't see us going permanently. No, probably not.
But at some point, we'll probably be like, okay, we're just going to bounce from country to country to country when we get to that point of being able to do it. Right now, we have 2 dogs, and
that makes it a little tougher.
Yeah, it makes it a little tougher. Ouch, 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 ouch.
What was that?
Something bit me.
Oh, Lord. Hope you don't bite me. So we're taking our dogs with us. So it's kind of makes things a little interesting to take your dogs, because our dogs are bigger, so they have to fly in a big old container, and they fly in the cargo. It's pretty common. People do it when they have bigger dogs. They got to fly with them. But we're definitely taking them. It makes everything a little bit more complicated, but whatever. They're our family.
And I'm over here going, yeah, he's going, we're definitely taking them. If his parents come... Our dogs love his parents. Our dogs are spoiled by his parents. And Mello does not like the crate. She is a big baby, and me being doggy mommy, it makes me a little sad to know that she would be in there for that long. I think probably when they get here, if and when, we might just go visit maybe a month.
Maybe our first trip would be a few months, possibly. It's all up in the air, you know.
Everything is up in the air. For 100% we know we want to go to Thailand. We know we want to be nomadic. We know that this way of, I guess, American standard life isn't us. The traditional retirement isn't us. So everything's always kind of up in the air with us. Yeah. We're kind of, like I said before, we're kind of like a feather.
Definitely wait until 63 or 65 or 67 and retiring. I don't know, we've known so many in the business I've been in and real estate, you meet so many people and you hear so many stories, and unfortunately so many people pass way too young. So to wait that long, and then again, we don't spend that much money, so we would just be kind of, because we don't really spend any money. So if we continue to work until we're 63, 67, we would have, so much money that we would never need.
We'd be loaded! No,
it would just be insane that we don't even need for anything. And
because we are minimalist.
We're very minimalist.
So minimalist.
So there's really no point into doing it. And since you only live once and you're not promised tomorrow, we figure we'll get on with it now, and kind of work something out to make a little dough on the way,
Yeah, a little personal backstory with me. My mom, and I'm not going to cry, my mom was just starting to kind of go places and do things, because she never has, and she's worked her whole life, and she was 66 and close to retiring, so just starting to kind of break out and do things. Didn't feel good, went to the doctor, and he's like, you got stage 4 cancer. And basically point blank told her, you got about 30 days to live.
And that's exactly how long she lasted.
She lived for 30 days. Yep. And from that moment on, when my mom, when I saw her take her last breath, it was just something in me going, you gotta live. What is it? Don't put off what you could do today because tomorrow might not come, or some stuff like whatever. It's true. She was just beginning to branch out and go places and do things, and she didn't even get to retire.
Yep.
She died at 66.
So that can happen, So, and you never know. You do your best. You work out, you eat well, you exercise, you get sunshine, all that good stuff, but you never know. Tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. So I say get on with it, and if you live ripe old age, and if I regret it, where I'm short on cash in my 70s, then, well, whatever. I'll figure it out then, but...
You be eating that iceberg lettuce.
Yeah. I just live such a meager life that I don't know, I can make it work,
No regrets.
Yep.
I have no regrets.
No regrets.
So those are a lot of the questions that we got. Is there anything that you can think of that would, something that somebody may have asked that we've not
I think a big
covered?
thing is folks that would want to do this lifestyle, just like I would, are searching for money-making opportunities. So especially if they're 50-ish, 40s, or whatever age, really, you're wanting to do it and you're not really quite ready to completely retire, or you have a pension. Some people will retire over there and it'll be a full-time thing, and they'll have a pension or they'll have whatever, and they can completely just say, that's it, I'm done, and then their money's going to go a long way when they get there and everything's great. When you're a little younger, you do got to kind of think about making a little dough. So I think that's probably one of the biggest questions people are going to have, and we are, you know, focusing on doing something. I've always been a business owner, she has as well, so we are focusing on making money on the internet. We will keep you all posted as things come up, and who knows, maybe there'll be opportunity for someone else to follow in. You never know, so we'll just keep you posted on that. That is probably going to be one of the biggest things people are going to be interested in, I think, yeah, because that's where you can make it happen. If you've got dough coming in, it's like, why not? If I got dough coming in that I don't need to be in one particular spot to get that dough, then you can go and travel wherever you want to go, and you can make it work. That's the key, you know, the key to all this nomadic stuff, you know.
And then, you know, for me, I'm like, you know, if it doesn't work out and we're like, dude, we got to go back home.
Yeah.
We'll just do real estate, which I think you
Yeah,
can do
get
real
back
estate
into real
anywhere.
estate. Yeah, you can do real estate anywhere, you know. So, you know, that way you more likely need to stay in a specific spot with real estate, you know.
He's the one that gets his license and works. I'm like, well, I go back into real estate.
So we've been thinking about doing this for years. Honestly, I would say, honestly, it goes back till I was 19 years old when I started thinking about doing this. I mean, I went to Acapulco on a trip before cell phones and pagers and all that good stuff. And me and my buddies went to Acapulco, Mexico. We drove down there from Detroit, Michigan. While I was there, I was just like, wow, this is so cool, because it was a totally different country. Everything was different. You know, it was just the most exciting, coolest thing ever. I had no money while we were down there. We made it work. Yeah, and it was just awesome. So I had always been thinking about doing something like this ever since then. Of course, back then you didn't have the internet. You didn't have all these resources to check things out, to talk to people, to do all these things. So, yeah, it's just kind of, it's in your mind, you know what I mean? And so then I go back to the United States. I moved around a little bit, back to Detroit, then I moved to Arizona, and then I moved to Clearwater, and I started bartending. And then I moved to Colorado, and then I'm like, wow, I really want to follow this good weather thing. So in my mind, I was thinking, I was a bartender at the time, and I was about, 22? I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to save up for a nice little Winnebago, a little camper on wheels. And I'm going to live in that camper, and I'm going to spend summers in Colorado as a bartender, and winters in Key West as a bartender. And I said I could always get a job as a bartender or a waiter, I don't care. Bouncing back and forth. But it was still always kind of in my mind, you know. And then it probably came up really again about probably 4 or 5 years ago, you know.
Yeah,
when we started talking about it.
When we lived in Charleston, because of course, you know, I'm from small town Ruby, South Carolina. The only thing people thought about in Ruby, South Carolina was, let's get out of school, get married, and have babies. And I was like, no. So when I met him, and then he kind of told me about the RV thing, or the travel trailer thing, and then that's where we were like, okay, we're gonna sell this house in Charleston, buy a travel trailer, and well, this is the house. How you feel, babe?
Ooh.
That was kind of like when I was like, you know, this would be fun to actually kind of just pop around places.
Yeah.
But I never thought about going out of the country until he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Because you know, me being from a town this big.
Out there, you know, you just don't know, you know.
So if you have any other questions, you know, that we didn't cover, because we are just in the beginnings of getting out of here. You know, we do have our
but it's coming up quick, so our lease, so we forgot to mention, so
November, December.
yeah, December 12th is the end of our lease period here, so we either got to figure out this Airbnb house, whatever it's going to be, and go. It'll be like December 12th. So either we have an Airbnb, whatever, but our plans are to go December 12th.
One of the things that is most interesting to us right now too is there's a lot of nomadic people that are over the age of 50 now.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible to me, because prior to the past, well, I guess 3 or 4 years, or before this big C word that I don't like to say, it was youngsters.
Yep, backpackers.
Sleeping on couches,
Yep.
backpacking. You know, you just could never even fathom that anybody over 50 could take their jobs.
Yeah.
And
Anymore.
I think at 50, and if you have a job where you can travel, you know,
Yep.
and ask your boss, ask him, hey, I work from the computer anyway.
Yep.
Is there any way that I can take this? You know?
Computer programmers, web designers, all that stuff you can definitely do that on the road easily. You know, that's
Yeah.
what we're kind of figuring out, you know.
That a lot of people are just taking their jobs with them, and they might not go and stay. I saw this one video the other day. He's staying like a month.
Yep.
He's starting off, he's staying a month.
Yep.
You know, we're going to stay maybe a month. We don't know yet.
And that kind of gives you some structure too, so that's kind of cool. So you get to where you're going, and if you have to, you know, punch that clock and you got some work, it kind of gives you a little structure when you get there. So that's kind of cool too, you know. If you have a
Yeah.
job already, I can see that working.
And then I'm finding out too, when you go to these different countries, they have like these workspaces
Yeah.
where all these nomads get together. I mean, you actually you're working, but you actually have people that you can talk to about, you know, what is your business, or well, how are you doing this? And there's a lot of family in the nomadic life that you wouldn't really even think about.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah. So that's it. Digital nomad, here we come. Working on it. We'll keep you posted. You know, if you're interested at all, reach out. You know, would love to help you. You know, we're in the beginning phases. Who knows? You know.
And like and subscribe and share to all your friends. And seriously,
That would be awesome.
Keep up with us, because a lot of our videos are going to be based around in Asheville, but you'll kind of see what we're up to.
We're digging Asheville right now, so there's going to be a lot of good Asheville videos, but we'll keep you updated on the progress.
But we're still going to be hitting the road.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I guess we will see you
Later.
in the next video.
Next video.